Well, as we've simplified our lifestyle, it was just kind of a natural progression to simplify our schedule as well, which meant our kids just weren't involved in as many activities anymore. But then what happened was I went to my daughter's conferences last fall, and her teacher had noticed that she was starting to act out a little bit to get attention. And being a middle child, their recommendation was that maybe she needed something of her own, something like a dance class or a gymnastics class, something for her to be good at. So of course my reaction was, oh crap, have we gone too far? Has our simplifying, is it now having a negative impact on our kids? So how many activities should our kids be in? And would that be the best solution to this kind of middle child syndrome? Let's talk more about that coming up next. Well, hi, I'm Dawn from theminimalmom.com. I am married to Tom, and we have 4 kids ages 3 through 8. And we just really enjoy sharing about our family's minimalist lifestyle, both here on our YouTube channel and on our blog. So be sure to subscribe if you would like to see more videos like this. But let's just jump right into this. So like I said, I kind of had this moment of a little bit of panic of wondering if we'd gone too far. And so this wasn't news. Tom and I had noticed it too, that just sometimes she would just do different things to get attention that weren't positive. And so we were kind of hoping she would grow out of it. But now that it was being recognized at school, we knew that we needed to do something. And so she's interested in dance and gymnastics. So it would have been a really natural fit. But yet, as I thought about it, I had this hesitation and I didn't feel at peace about it. And I think the reason that I was initially hesitant was just because I am very aware of not filling up our schedule, because I know that it's kind of a domino effect when we get too busy. And so I have been working diligently to not be so busy, and certainly by simplifying our household, that was really helpful. And then, like I said, our schedule as well. And so what would seem like, oh, it's not that big a deal, it's 2 classes a week. Well, right, but what about in the winter when it's dark out and anywhere we go, we have to drive 15 minutes to get there? And what about the cost of it and the cost of costumes and those different things? And then if she's in an activity, then is our other daughter going to ask to be in it as well? And what activities would the other kids want to be in? So I knew that it wasn't just one class for one child, that there was other things that I needed to consider as well. But then as I thought about it more, that wasn't even the biggest hesitation I don't think that I had. Really, as I thought about it, it was like, okay, so she needs more attention. That is not wrong. Kids need attention, right? They need it from us as parents, from other family members, from friends at school. That is not wrong for her to need attention. Okay, so if she's not getting the attention she needs, well, is it right to look to somewhere outside to fill that need, to put that burden now on a dance instructor and to expect that we'll just sign her up for a dance class and that's going to take care of it? But then also, is her finding something that she's good at, is that the solution? You know, I think as parents, we all want our kids to be happy, right? If I asked any parent, they would say, I just want my kids to be happy. And I'm the same way. At the end of the day, when they leave our house, I want them to be happy. But what does that mean? What does it mean for our kids to be happy? And so as I thought about that more, I thought, you know, it's not that they get to do everything that they want to do. It's more that they feel confident in who they are. They feel needed. When we look at the rates and the rising rates of kids struggling with depression and anxiety and suicidal thoughts, it's horrifying to me that a child could think that the world would be a better place without them, or that they wouldn't be missed. I am not making light of this at all. I think this is actually something as parents that we really need to be thinking about, because 1 in 3 teens are going to struggle with these things. And so it's going to affect, if not us personally, our kids as friends, and we're going to be seeing more and more of this in their schools. So, okay, I know we're talking about a dance class for a 7-year-old, but again, when I look at the bigger picture, I want my kids to be happy. I don't want them to struggle with these things. So what does make them happy? And to me, is it finding something they're good at? Or is it feeling like they're needed, like they're worthwhile, like somebody's day is better because they're in it. When I look back at my childhood, I grew up on a farm, so there was no getting away from being needed. Everyone always had a job to do, and there's a saying like on a farm there's always something to do, and it's true. There was always something to do, and there was a place that we could contribute. And growing up too, I mean, my mom expected us to help with cooking and cleaning and all of those things. So I felt very needed. The other thing was that my parents did really well was they demonstrated generosity and helping others. I can't think of a weekend that went by that we weren't helping someone else, whether it was my grandparents or a friend or a family member. And then we were also involved in 4-H, which had a big emphasis on, community involvement. So my whole childhood had these aspects of me not worrying about what I'm good at, but thinking about other people and how I could positively affect them. And looking back, I think that had a huge influence on who I am today and my happiness today, because I believe that I can do things to better people's lives or to brighten their day or to make an impact on them. And I think that gives me more self-confidence and more self-worth than excelling at a sport or a dance. Now, I am not saying that those things are bad. I also grew up playing soccer, and that was awesome. Being part of a team, it was so great. So it's really all about balance, and that's that elusive word that we're all trying to strive for, right? Balance. So again, could one dance class fit into our schedule? Of course, but I didn't think it was the solution. And I see how as parents, we end up just really gradually with this really full schedule to the point where we might not be enjoying it, but we just don't know what else to do because our kids are in it. They've already started it. We've invested money into it. And so what are we going to do? And so I think that if you're living happily with your schedule right now, then this video isn't for you. But if you feel kind of like me in your gut that, well, maybe the dance class wasn't the solution, or maybe all these activities that we're putting our kids in and we're trying to, we want them to be happy. We want them to be well-rounded. We want them, if we've recognized a talent in them, we want them to have every opportunity they can to explore it. But maybe if we take a step back as a parent and say, okay, but what really is my child needing right now? And I think it's easy to discount the thought that our kids actually want time with us. Before I got married, I helped with youth ministry, and Tom and I helped even when we were newly married. And I noticed even back then, about 10 years ago, that parents were already starting to just feel like they didn't know what the answers were. They didn't know how to deal with cell phones. They didn't know how to deal with Facebook and those different aspects. And so it was really easy for them to think that their kids were better off if they were spending time with coaches and with youth leaders and different people like that. I think they even thought some of their friends' parents had it more together, so it was good if their child was spending time over at their house. But honestly, your kids want to spend time with you. And there was a lot of times I didn't know what it was back that I felt really second rate. I could tell I wasn't actually filling this void that these teenagers were feeling but didn't know what to do. But yet I didn't know quite what it was. But looking back now, I can see that it was a need that their parents should have been filling. That even if they didn't have the answers, their kids just needed to know that they cared about them and that they valued them and that they needed them, that they needed their kids as a part of their family and a part of their household for things to operate how they should and for them to really be a complete family. And I know families look different today and they come in all shapes and sizes, but really just that need. And as a parent now having my own kids, I am hardwired to care for my kids. That doesn't mean we joke about there's no instruction manual. I don't always know what it is, but their dad and I are the only ones on this planet that are hardwired to care about the emotional and the physical needs of this child. And likewise, our children are hardwired to like us as parents. It does not always feel like it. I know that. And I would see some of the way these teens would talk to their parents and I'm like, oh no, you didn't. Like I would never talk to my parents like that. So it's easy to feel like, well, they don't like me, they don't care about me, but that's not the truth. And so I would encourage you as a parent to persevere through that and just keep pursuing your child. If they're younger, it's easier. If they're already into their teenage years, I know it's more difficult, but you are the person that can instill that worth and that value in your child more so than anyone else. Because coaches, I had awesome soccer coaches, and they were great at adding value to my life and encouraging me, but they come and go. Coaches come and go. Youth leaders come and go. You are the one that they look to as a constant in their life. And so whether you are their biological parent or a parent figure or anything like that, they need you. So I think we really, if we're noticing, behaviors in our kids where they're acting out, or certainly if we're recognizing, any of these concerns of depression or anxiety, I think it's time that we take a look at our child, we recognize what it is that they need, and we make room in our schedule to help them through this. So what did we end up doing? So you're probably getting the idea right now that we didn't sign our daughter up for a dance class. So what did we do? Well, I had realized that part of this was because our oldest would really take initiative to help around the house. She started showing interest in cooking and helping to clean around the house. So I was really consistently working with her on those things and building her up in those areas. Well, I didn't think that our second oldest had interest in those, so I wasn't really inviting her in to those things. So then I realized, okay, I do need to ask her if she wants to learn these things too. And it turns out that she did want to learn to cook, and there were some things that she was hoping to be able to cook on her own now too. And then even though she was one that would usually grumble a lot when I would ask her to do a chore around the house, I'm like, I'm gonna push through that. And so I started to ask her to do things. And then we found a few things that she's really good at. And now she knows, like, that's her job, around the house, to do those things. So it took a little while. She wasn't excited about it at first, but then when we found the things she was good at, then she was excited to help with it. And then the other thing we did, and if you follow me on social media, you've maybe seen this, is I just declared it this past summer, the summer of staying home. And so we just decided we didn't even do our church's VBS this year, because I was like, you know what? There's so many good things. There are so many good things we could go and do, but I just felt like my kids needed a break, and that they're really the happiest when we're staying home. And so we've been staying home all summer. They have been playing outside. I have this video about getting the kids to play outside. They've literally, it's like 2:00 right now. They've been outside since 8:00 this morning, besides coming in to eat. Like, they are so happy right now. And so this should be good news to you, because that's free and easy, and I've been getting stuff done inside the house, and my kids are happy. So it's like win-win-win. I'm saving money, and we're not driving all over the place, and I don't have crabby kids from being overstimulated this summer. And so at the risk of sounding like a broken record, I know like my videos tend to be like, just simplify, just get rid of stuff and everyone's happier. I do want to encourage you that if you feel like your schedule has gotten out of control and that there's too many things, take control back. It's okay to not be in all of these activities, and your kids are still going to be well-rounded. They're still going to be, adjusted. They'll be socialized, and don't worry about what the other parents think. I've been pressured by other parents. Oh, I'll help drive the kids. Oh, it's not that big a deal. It's not that big a cost. They mean well, but at the end of the day, I'm the one that has to look out for what's best for our kids. Oh, and the other thing that's cool is that I haven't even asked, but other relatives that sometimes watch our kids have noticed the difference, both in our second, but all of our kids, that they're less sassy and they haven't been looking for that negative attention, and they've been more enjoyable to be around. So I've been very happy to hear that. So I think we are on the right track. Okay, so as always, please leave questions or comments below. A thumbs up is the best compliment you can give us. And be sure to subscribe if you'd like to see more ideas about our minimalist lifestyle.